Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, maayong buntag. Kamusta na si kayo namin, naimbangal daw yu amin. Kababayan, this is your live show, my live show, kasali kayo. This is the second episode of Kababayan Kasali Kayo at yung unang episode namin na launch yon ng August 13 at nakakatabang puso po kasi napakaraming views at saka napakaraming share. Umabot ata ng halos almost 4,000 ang viewers at saka yung share halos umabot ng 100. So, ibig sabihin nun, maganda naman kahit na first show pa lang. Natutuwa naman po ako. Yung guest natin ngayong araw na ito, na in-announce ko ng last episode, si Philippine Consul General Patrick Hilado, ay nagpaumanhin naman, hindi siya pwedeng sumali dito sa ating programa ngayon kasi scheduled siya na magbakasyon. So, September na natin siya makakasama. I-schedule niya tayo sa September. Isa pa, tumutok lang ho kayo dito sa Kababayan. Kasali kayo tuwing Sabado, 6 o'clock in the morning. Kung ma-miss nyo man yung mga episodes natin, pwede po ninyong balikan mag-log in lang kayo sa Kandit News. Makikita nyo yan sa Facebook at saka YouTube. Nag-play yan after the live show. Pagkatapos ng live show natin, nag-play yan everyday. Hanapin nyo lang po sa kanditnews.com. Napakaagang umaga, umuulan na naman. Mag-ingat kayo sa daan. Bukas na ang flea market sa Dedido. So, hindi ko alam kung maraming tao ngayon kasi umuulan. Sana naman hindi para marami naman benta yung mga vendors doon kasi araw-araw na lang umuulan. Kaya mag-ingat po kayo sa daan at kung nasa bahay naman kayo habang nagkakape at nag-aalmusal, sumali na po kayo dito sa Kababayan. Kasali kayo. Isa pa nga kinatutuwa ako, di ba in-announce ko ng last episode, yung first episode na kung tututok kayo dito sa programa ko, kung manunood po kayo, yung guideline namin na bawal magmura, kung mamimintas man kayo, konting respeto, ganon. Sa awa ng Diyos naman po, napakaganda ng reception ng first episode ng show ko. Merong isang Pinoy, isang kababayan natin, sabi niya, wag na lang daw Filipino talk show. So, nagpasalamat pa rin ako. Sabi ko sa kanya, subukan mo kuya, baka magustuhan mo. Iba syempre kung sariling atin. Tapos meron namang alam ko kasi chinek ko sa Facebook kung yung isang lalaki, taga Micronesia, nanood din po siya. Tapos sabi niya, pangit. Alam niyo naman yung mga ibang lahi, pag gusto nilang matutunan yung Tagalog, nauuna syempre yung pinag-aaralan nila yung mga kalaswaang salita. So, I took it with a grain of salt. Nagpasalamat pa rin ako na nanood siya sa show natin. So yun, maganda naman ho ang resulta at saka napakaraming viewers po nung first show ko nung August 13. So yun po. Ah, so ang nahihirapan kasi akong maghanap ng gusto kong mag-line up ng mga mai-interview dito sa show. Kaya lang nahihirapan ako ngayong kumontak sa Filipino community of Guam. Ah, yung mga leaders, yung mga presidente, yung mga officers, preferably yung presidente noon at saka ngayon, kung pwede nyo akong kontakin, gusto ko ring mag-usap tayo dito, sumali kayo dito sa programa natin. Para naman malaman ng ating mga kababayan kung anong mga projects ngayon, kung anong mga goals ng Filipino community of Guam. So yun. Kung may mga friends ako nakakilala nyo, magpasabi lang po kayo na and you're invited to this show. Di po ba? Maganda yon. So yun, ang line-up ko for the next consecutive na Sabado. Sana mauna yung Filipino community of Guam. Tapos po, si Philippine Consul General of the Philippines, scheduled na yan ng September. Abangan na lang po natin. Yun ang mga naka-line up sa atin ngayon. In the meantime, I will be... ito nga pa pala. May napakaraming viewers. May mga brothers and sisters, mga kapatid natin na taga dito sa Guam, yung mga tunay na Guamanians, nanonood din sila, natutuwa din sila sa programa ko. Ang request lang nila kung pwede po bang mag-English ako kasi hindi raw nila naiintindihan yung ating wikang Tagalog. Sabi ko naman, there will be some shows na I will talk in English. Yung kaibigan ko tumawag sa akin, Sal, I really like your show. Sabi niya ganun. So I'm trying to just make up, what's happening, what you're saying. Sabi ko, kayo mo naman yan. Sabi ko, dahil I do Taglish, Tagalog English, which I think is another dialect in the Philippines. So yun po, mga kababayan, ang masasabi ko ng nangyari nung the past August 13. Nagiging involved din ho ako sa election. So nangangampanya ako para sa aking kandidato. Kaya 3 Sabado na kaming lumalabas para mag-canvass sa Filipino community of Guam. Di po ba sabi ko nung last show ko na ang dami-dami nating mga kababayan na ayaw bumoto, ayaw mag-register. At yan din po ang nahahanap namin pag kami nagka-canvas. Tinatanong namin sila kung bakit. Unang-una, ayaw daw nilang maging juror pag may mga kaso tatawagan sila ng korte na maging gagawin silang magkakaroon sila ng jury duty. Yan ang unang-unang pasabi nila na kaya ayaw nilang mag-register. Yung iba naman po, ayaw talaga nilang mag-register at bumoto kasi pare-pareho lang naman daw yung mga politiko, puro pangako. Wala namang nagagawa. marami silang reklamo, yung mga daan, yung mga kalsada, ganun pa rin sa kanilang mga tirahan. Tapos, meron pa nga nagsabi dyan, um, parang ang gobyerno ngayon, hindi nila ginagawa yung kanilang mga responsibilidad. Ang dami-dami pong mga asong nakakalat. Zach, do you know if we have a law against stray dogs? Okay. We need to check on that kasi yung mga reklamo ng ibang kababayan natin na ganun pa rin, parang walang nagpagbabago sa ating gobyerno. Tapos yun pa, yung inaasahan nila na galing na ayuda, inaasahan nating lahat na ayuda na 1,000, 700, nag-umpisa ata yan ng 700, tapos yung ibang mga political figures, pinupush nila itong gobernador natin ngayon na ibigay yung 1,000 na ayuda kasi meron pa namang ayuda, meron pa namang pera na nakatabi lang, kung bakit ayaw niyang ibigay. Dahil aminin natin, mahal, talaga napakamahal ng bilihin. Kagaya ngayong umaga, naggasolina ako, $50, 50, ano lang, yung guhit umabot lang ng konti lumampas lang ng konti dun sa half tank ng kotse ko. Kaya sabi ko, yung 50 nung siguro mga 2 years ago, 3 years ago, pwede pang kasyang-kasya yun ng full tank. Ngayon, hindi na. So yun, nahihirapan pa rin kaming ako magkumbinsi sa mga voters, mga kababayan nating voters, na gawin nila ang kanilang responsibilidad para umigi ang ating komunidad. So the only way you can do that is if you register and vote. Kaya mga kababayan, kung hindi pa kayo nakakapag-early voting, nagkaroon ng early voting last day kahapon. Ngayon, kung hindi pa kayo registered, pwede naman po kayong dumulog sa Guam Election Commission. Ang kanilang opisina malapit dun sa may Fahrenheit ba yon, dito sa may Tamuning, kung galing kayo ng Tumon, Dedido Tumon, kakanan kayo dito sa Fahrenheit Drive sa Tamuning. Makikita nyo yan, yung katabi ng malaking drugstore, yung nandun sa bandang likod. Second floor po ang opisina ng Guam Election Commission. Hindi ko alam kung kailan ang deadline ng registering. Pero ang voting for the primary, eto nang darating na Sabado, kaya August 27. Kaya kung gusto nyong tumulong para gumanda ang kabuhayan natin dito sa Guam, do your responsibility. Mag-register. I cannot emphasize it any more than how and what I've been saying throughout my show, na napaka-importante ang boto natin. Mamili kayo ng isang kandidato, isang gobernador, lieutenant gobernador na para yung makakagawa ng maganda naman dito sa Guam. Yun po. So may maganda akong, habang nagkakape kayo, may gusto akong inform ko kayo na magkakaroon din po ako ng segment na habang nanonood kayo, magkakaroon tayo ng segment na mayroon akong bibigkasin o babasahin dito na parang trivia. So magsasabi ako ng quotation, quotes, tapos pahuhulaan ko sa mga viewers. Kung sino ang manalo, magbibigay ho ako ng meal certificate, 2 winners every show, courtesy of McDonald's of Guam. Mag-uumpisa ho yan ng itong buwan ng Setyembre. So abangan nyo, tumutok lang po kayo at ah, kung mananalo kayo, basta nanonood kayo, kung pwedeng, hindi ko pa alam kung paano, kung nanalo kayo, kung paano ang magiging setup na tatawagan ba namin kayo o kukontakin namin kayo. So, yan po, magkakaroon tayo ng trivia question dito sa portion ng aking show. Siguro middle portion yan ng aking show. Mag-uumpisa sa Setyembre. Magbibigay po tayo ng 2 gift certificates from McDonald's. So, bago break time, gusto ko lang banggitin na ang unang advertiser ng show ko is Roland's Watch and Repair na nandyan po sa Micronesia Mall. Nila, supportive nila. Sila ang first advertiser ko. Nagpapasalamat ako kay Ate Zenny Ponce, yung may-ari ng Roland's Watch and Repair dyan sa Micronesia Mall. Nakilala ko sila kasi pag nasisira yung relo ko, dinadala ko doon sa kanilang stall sa pwesto dyan sa Micronesia Mall. At agad-agad na naaayos ni Ate Cora o kaya ni Kuya Fred yung mga relo ko. So, sila po ang aking unang-unang advertiser dito sa show ko. Suportahan ho natin sila, at kung halimbawa may nasira kayong relo, pwede po kayong pumunta doon at agad-agad gagawa nila ng resulta ang inyong problema sa mga relos ninyo. So, Roland's Watch and Repair Shop, dyan po sa Micronesia. We will do a commercial break, and after the commercial break, I will have a commentary back to school year 2022. So, Zach, let's do a commercial break.
We are agents of change, shining the light on corruption, land scams, children being raped, growing violence, and the wrecking ball of poverty. While we have grown and been able to expose many of the dark corners of our islands because of the confidence you and our advertisers have placed in us, there still is so much more to do, so much more to clean. Kandit's flame must grow brighter. Fuel this fire. If you want the light shined on corruption in our governments, rape and violence against children and women, land scams and poverty, then advertise with us or sponsor our programming in Guam and the CNMI. Call us at 671-922-NEWS or email us at advertise@candidnews.com. This is the future. Fuel this fire.
Welcome back sa Kababayan, kasali kayo. This is your host, Sally Aquino. By the way, if you want to advertise in my show, there is merong commercial dyan. Kontakin lang po ninyo ang candidnews.com. tumawag lang po kayo sa amin. Dito kung interesado kayong mag-advertise dito sa Kababayan Kasali Kayo, o kaya sa tuwing umaga meron din po kami mga news. Napakaganda po ang aming setup kasi you can watch live, tapos may replay po yan sa Facebook at saka YouTube. Kung na-miss nyo ang mga episodes ng aming shows at saka mga news, salamat po sa pagbabalik ninyo. Tutok lang po dito sa Kababayan Kasali Kayo. Meron pa tayong 30 minutes para matutukan nyo ang aking show. Halimbawa ho, kung may gusto kayong idulog sa akin ng mga issues, mga concerns, mga balita, ganon, may kakilala kayo dyan ng mga talented na mga Filipino, kontakin nyo po ako. Napakadali kong kontakin. Makikita nyo naman ang Facebook ko sa social media. So, ganun po. So, ngayon, ang gusto ko lang, gusto ko naman mag-English, kaya meron akong inihanda dito para naman yung ating mga viewers na hindi nakakaintindi ng Tagalog ay makaka-tune in at ma-appreciate naman nila yung aking show. So, etong second segment ng Kababayan Kasali Kayo, I want to talk about or I did a piece on back to school for school year 2022. Sumali ako doon sa Welcome Back to School na ginawa ni Congressman Michael San Nicolas saka yung kanyang running mate si Sabrina Salas Matanani. We did an island-wide back-to-school year, welcoming the students and the teachers and the support staff of DOE and administrators. And so all the volunteers had a choice of which school to go to, and I did one in Carbalito Elementary School, and it was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with joy just watching the kids go back to school, driven by their parents, honking their cars, throwing. The kids were so happy. They were throwing kisses, and they're just happy to go back to school. And that was a great experience for me to have joined that activity for back to school last Wednesday. So here I have some words of encouragement about going back to school for the school year 2022. It's always exciting. Aren't you excited? After the long summer and because of the pandemic, the effect of pandemic, there was no face-to-face schooling. It was more like online. So going back to school face-to-face for 2022 makes everybody excited. Children are precious, and I always say that. I have my own granddaughter, and one day, and I think she's gonna go to preschool already, so I'm excited to do that, to see that happen. So here's my piece about the school year 2022. With teachers who are unsure if they'll see their pay raise, don't let that political rhetoric affect your motivation to provide quality education for our school kids. In the words of Dwight Eisenhower, um, things are more like they are now than they've ever been before, but kids are still kids. What do they know about politics, right? For teachers who are new on the job, uh, don't take it personally if students don't like your subject. And that happens. That doesn't mean they don't like you. They do not be discouraged. Motivate them. Don't judge them. Don't make them face the wall, please. And just bear with the kids. So tell the story about you can share your story with these students before 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 starting to teach them. The first few days should be light and should be fun, and there's so many ways rather than going to the board right away and start teaching ABCs and numbers like that. Get to know your students. Get to know the kids first. Um, another thing that you can do, teachers, as you go back to the classroom, is get to know your students. Ask them what their hobbies are. That is so important. Um, in Japan, the children from preschool on to maybe sixth grade, seventh grade, they do not really focus on academics. They focus on discipline. Teachers, I think that's part of their curriculum. They emphasize discipline. They instill sense of responsibility to the children, and respect, and not so much on academics, giving homeworks and all that thing. uh it's more on self development of the children, of the young children, the young students. So that's what happens in Japan. So if you notice, the Japanese nationals from little from little children up to adults, they're very respectful because that's their class. They start their training from the very bottom when they are still young, and so that's what we should do. I really like that. I've always recommended that to teachers I know. My daughter's a teacher, and start from there. But get to know your students first. Make make the school year exciting, and not just children sitting on their chairs, and on the first or second day you're already talking about your agenda for the first quarter. I think that's a little bit too much. Get them comfortable and get them settled. Get to know each other. Okay? So, here, since the administration has not truly paid attention to education here on Guam, uh, this current administration, there's probably not enough in DOE's Department of Education's budget to buy anything. Bear with the responsibility of our lawmakers. Just teach kids. Just teach kids. Don't blame yourself when things don't go well. Okay? Teachers, remember that. Do not overwork yourself. You will do no one good if you become angry and frustrated. Be fair to your students and the community, but be fair to yourself and your family as well. You don't have to say yes to everything. Importantly, kids are like any of us adults. They have their own baggage. A student who seems quiet, uh, he might have had a rough day or a rough night. Maybe a little girl had her heart broken for whatever reason. Maybe she got scolded. Be patient. Teachers, be patient and be aware that uh, kids have problems in their lives too, just like all of us adults. Be a good listener. Don't judge too quickly. Have compassion and empathy. Maya Angelou, if you know her, she's deceased, but one of the best writers, women writers in America, and she's a very good poet as well. Said, "People will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So be careful on how you treat your students as well as your coworkers." Okay? Now let me repeat that. People will forget what you said. Kids will forget what you said. Kids will forget what you did. But kids will never forget how you made them feel. So be careful. Another thing, don't make rules complicated. Keep it simple. Keep them simple and make sure your students understand why there are rules and what these rules are. This is the start. This should be the start of learning. Learning what responsibility is about, what discipline is all about. Okay. All right. So, I got this note. I'm sorry. I have to flip over everything here. Teachers make a fresh start every day. Don't hold grudges. If if a kid was if a kid is I don't know, maybe misbehaves because he's too active, don't hold that against the kid, okay? And don't stew on bad behavior. Do not fume, do not be angry with bad behavior. Kids are kids. So every day, start fresh with a clean state. Forget what happened yesterday, unless it's really serious, right? Now, here's another important thing dealing with kids: never use sarcasm. That's very demeaning. I would I would never do that to a child. I will never demean a child. I will correct a child. I will correct a kid and say, for example, that was not very nice, and you explain to that kid what he did. But never be sarcastic with kids. They don't understand that. Not yet anyway. Again, like I said, take some time to learn what your students, these kids, like before going into the blackboard and giving homeworks and stuff like that. Take time to know what their interests are, like music, maybe, sports, art. When you do that, it shows that you respect these kids, and then that you're also helping them grow. Okay? So, here's another biggie. If you are required to give homework, give as little as you can. These kids are already spending 8 hours a day in the classroom. And then they have to go home and deal with so many homeworks. That's not nice. They'll be so tired. They won't be able to, not all of them are going to be able to come up with with their homework. So give as little as you can. They kids need time to relax as well. They have hobbies to spend time off and with their friends, okay? Personally, I'm against giving a lot of homework. I prefer that you teach discipline, respect, and responsibility instead of uh, immediately teaching them how to write in cursive or learning phonics, stuff like that. Begin with something fun first. Okay? So that is my piece on the start of school year 2022. Um, Lastly, um, and I hope this doesn't hurt anybody, any of the administrators anywhere. I don't care. It's not just Guam, but teachers. Not all administrator are great teachers. Okay, that's why they're not in the classroom. Something made them to leave the classroom. But remember, good administrators support you. Bad ones judge you. So have fun, do your job well. The kids are more important than anything. So this is my lasting uh, words on going back to school this year. Have fun, enjoy, and be safe always. And I wish you the best. Zach, another commercial break, and then we can wrap up. Welcome back to my show. So I I had to do something in English because I have a lot of viewers um watching Kababayan Kasali Kayo. And in fairness, um I also like to talk about things in English and not just in Tagalog. And to keep you guys coming back to my show. Thank you so much for watching. So we're on the last segment of Kababayan, Kasali Kayo. Um, Last episode, I talked about, I know Carlos Pagalinan wants me to do movie reviews, Tagalog movie reviews, and I have to be selective about that because sometimes it's just so hard to translate Tagalog into English. And if I attempt to do that and make um, and do a bad review or a good review, but it may not be what the show is all about, um, I might be criticized. I don't mind criticism, but maybe I'm not. I don't know how to say this, but it's just hard. It's just so difficult to translate Tagalog into English literally. So I'm gonna be very choosy when I do Tagalog movie reviews. But here it is. I have one that I have been following, and this is after President Bongbong Marcos um, was elected president for the next 6 years in the Philippines. His sister, who's a senator, Amy Marcos, who's also a senator, seating a senator currently. She was so involved in the campaign that when her brother won, Bongbong won, she declared, "What am I gonna do next? I'm bored now." She's so funny. So she called a friend, a movie director. His name is Daryl Yap. He's Filipino Chinese, and they had coffee. And so one thing led to the other, and they started talking about doing a film about the incident in 1986. When was it, 1986 or 1984? I can't remember. When they got I mean, they were literally told to leave the Philippines. This was aftermath the assassination of Benigno Aquino, the father of Pinoy, ama ni Pinoy, at asawa ni Cory. So there was a revolt. There was a lot of accusations about the Marcos uh, having to do with Benigno Aquino Sr.'s assassination. And so people took to the streets at the you know at the leadership of Cory Aquino. So nagkaroon ng People's Revolution in the Philippines. Kaya nagkagulo na at pinatatalsik na talaga ang mga Marcoses sa Pilipinas as a result of that assassination. So this movie, Made in Malacanang, this was the last 3 days event, confusion, sari-sari ng mga reactions. Not only the family, but also their bodyguards and their maids. Yung kaguluhan doon talagang grabe, talagang sinisira na ng mga tao yung baraka, yung kanilang gates, yung mga gates sa Malacanang, at talagang gusto nila nang pasukin at patalsikin. O kaya saktan siguro yung pamilya ni President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. So itong movie ito yung project ni Amy is based on that event. Yung Made in Malacanang, last 3 days. So nagkakagulo na. So matatandaan nyo, it was all over the newspaper during that event, People's Revolution, na sabi, nasa loob ng Malacanang yung pamilya Marcos, yung mga tao, ang dami-daming, I mean, we're talking about thousands of people na gusto silang pasukin. So ngayon, yung mga generals ng PNP at saka mga armed forces nagsasuggest na, they're suggesting to President Marcos Sr., do you want us to kill them? Do you want us to go and deal with them? And and President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. said, no. If they were enemies, I wouldn't hesitate to have you shoot all of them. But these are my people. And I'm having goosebumps right now as I remember that event. I'm having, right now, goosebumps. And the president said, if they were my enemies, the enemies of the Philippines, I wouldn't hesitate to have them shot. But these are my people. And he just sat back, waited for his fate. And it so happened that Cory Aquino was getting so powerful that he got the U.S. Congress in Washington, other leaders from around the world to support her in the propaganda to oust the Marcos families. And so that's what happened. They called him dictator, and he wanted to bring his family to Ilocos and Lawag. But Cory said no. Get them out of the Philippines. So here, Amy recalls, so she and Daryl Yap, the director of Made in Malacanang, projected all these events in this movie. Anyway, that movie will come to Guam soon, and I encourage you to watch it. Sana makakuha tayo ng gift certificate din, no? Movie passes para maipamigay natin dito sa show ko. I'm gonna do my best kasi napakagandang, nakita ko yung preview ng show ng movie. Napakaganda talaga. Before I end my show, merong kataga na sinabi si Amy doon sa pelikulang Made in Malacanang. At ito babasahin ko kasi hindi ko memoryado. Bago lumisan ng pamilya Marcos, ramdam na ramdam ni Amy Marcos ang kalungkutan ng ama. Kaya nasabi niya sa sarili niya, at saka sa mga kanyang mga pinagkakatiwalaang mga tao siguro, bago nila lisanin ang Malacanang, sinusumpa ko malalaman ng lahat na nabubuhay ngayon at sa susunod na henerasyon na ang tatay ko na pinagmukha nilang halimaw ay isang magiting na sundalo, pinalakas ng dinengdeng, yung dinengdeng sa sa Ilocano, yung sari-saring gulay. Pinalakas, ulitin ko. Pinagmukha nilang halimaw ang isang magiting na sundalo, pinalakas ng dinengdeng, saging at pagmamahal sa bayan. Sabi niya, at isinumpa niya, simula sa araw na ito, hanggat paboran uli kami ng tadhana, kahit kailan, sinasabi niya sa ama niya to, kahit kailan sa mata ko, sa puso ko, hindi ka nabigo. And she was saying this to her father, who was, what can he do, right? He was the most powerful, and then all of a sudden, he was not powerful anymore. Only because his political enemies have different agenda. And he let it go. So yun, Isinusumpa ko, malalaman ng lahat na nabubuhay ngayon at sa susunod na henerasyon na ang tatay ko na pinamukha nilang halimaw nila yung mga kasapi ni Cory Aquino ay isang magiting na sundalo, pinalakas ng dinengdeng, saging at pagmamahal sa bayan. Simula sa araw na ito, hanggat paboran uli ng tadhana, kahit kailan sa mata ko, puso ko, hindi ka nabigo. At alam nyo, talagang napaboran ng tadhana kasi ang bagong presidente ng Pilipinas ay walang iba kundi si Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. What an irony, isn't it? I always believe God works in mysterious ways. Ito na siguro yung kanilang, whatever, satisfaction at para maipakita na wala naman silang ginawa. Talagang ganyan lang siguro ang politika, magulo. Lalo na sa atin. Pero alam nyo kababayan, compare dito sa Guam, napakayaman pa rin, mas mayaman pa rin ang bansa ng Pilipinas. Sasabihin ko sa inyo yan. Kasi dito, alam nyo, puro politika, wala namang kokonting na itutulong sa mga tao. Sa Pilipinas, sa administrasyon ni Duterte, ang dami niyang nagawang infrastructure. Mantak mo, etong latest mula Batangas hanggang Mindoro, hanggang saan ba yun? Sa Marinduque, Cebu. Sanga-sanga na yung mga infrastructure. Pwede ka nang, kaysa mag-eroplano ka o sumakay ng barko, pwede ka nang mag-driving. Nung nandun ako huli from Manila, from Pampanga to Pangasinan, dito sa may Ordaneta, dahil sa mga infrastructure na ginawa ng administration ni President Duterte nung araw, aabutin ka ng 4 na oras mula Pangasinan to Manila. Ngayon, nasubukan ko mula Pangasinan to Pampanga, 20 minutes one way, 20 minutes pabalik. For less than an hour. Dahil sa ang daming infrastructure na talagang tinutukan. Dito sa Guam, hanggang ngayon yung mga lubak-lubak na daan, napakaliit ang isla ng Guam i-compare mo sa Pilipinas. Kaya alam mo, believe ako na kahit na anong hirap ng buhay sa atin, may mga pangyayari pa rin na maganda. Si Erwin Tulfo is in charge. Appointee ni Bongbong Marcos sa parang Department of Health. Social Services pala. Dami-dami niyang nagagawa. Effective ang kanyang mga ginagawa. Pag may nasalanta, nandun agad ang tulong. Ayaw, isa sa mga patakaran niya, ayaw niya yung mga red tapes. Yung bang mamamatay na mga kababayan, wala pa rin nangyayari. Dito sa Guam, meron pa tayong ini-expect na ayuda. Ayaw namang ibigay ng gobernador. Kaya nakakasama ng loob Bakit nakabangko yung mga ayuda na galing sa Amerika? Bakit hindi nila maibigay sa mga kababayan na nahihirapan sa buhay? Kaya umaalis yung mga ibang tao dito sa Guam Kaya alam nyo, if you look at it, kahit nasabihin nila na ang Pilipinas somewhat a third country, I don't think so. Ang dami pa rin mga magagandang bagay na nagagawa kahit na anong klaseng politika dyan. Ngayon, itong nakaupong mga bagong elected na senators sa Pilipinas, ang dami nilang magagandang agenda. Itong mga Tulfo brothers, si Raffy Tulfo, sa bagong Senado, binigyan siya, ang kanyang committee is on energy. Diyos ko, araw-araw may mga tumatawag na sa kanya, oh bakit ganito? Nagrireklamo na, kagaya sa Benguet, sa Baguio, parati din palang maraming ano dyan, yung mga power outages. And nagrireklamo sila dahil nagsasara ang kanilang mga negosyo dahil sa kadalasan ng power outages. So iyan, Benguet, Baguio, nagreklamo yan. Yung dito sa Oriental Mindoro, sa all over Oriental Mindoro, nangyayari din yan na na parating may power outages. Pag-uusapin ho natin yung committee ni Senator Raffy Tulfo sa susunod na show ko sa August 27. Pasensya na po kung nauutal-utal ako, napakaaga ng umaga, pero oras na raw para tapusin natin ang episode 2 ng aking show. Mga kababayan, maraming salamat po to all my viewers on Kababayan Kasali Kayo. Keep watching. Next Saturday, August 27th, is another show, and it's also the primary election. I have to say goodbye now. My director is saying I'm done for this morning. Keep safe, and God bless you all, and keep coming up, keep viewing my show. Kababayan, kasali kayo. Wrap up, Zach. Thank you.